Hi, I'm Jay,
I'm Neil.
and collectively we're Midtype. Midtype helps front-end engineers build, scale, and iterate on backends for SaaS applications. And we're excited to join Startup School 2019 and work with all of you to take our companies to the next step. However, this is not our first Startup School. We had actually done this exact same program last year with a different idea. We had freshly quit our jobs looking to solve conference room availability problems at workplaces. Both of us faced these problems, and we knew we had the idea and the vision to solve that problem by algorithmically allocating conference rooms. So we got into startups, we applied to startup school, we got in, we were assigned a group and an advisor, Ash Rust. Every week, Ash ran sync-up sessions where each team or each company showed their progress. Some weeks we showed progress on code, some weeks we showed progress on sending out emails, and some weeks we actually got a company to agree to a pilot. Ultimately, at the end of the program, we had gotten 4 companies to agree to a pilot, with a couple of them already trying some form of our software. Based on this, we applied to the Y Combinator core program, and we got an interview, and even after the interview, we were fortunate enough to get the phone call, and we were actually in the program. Once we got in the program, we were assigned some amazing partners as advisors who guided us, mentored us, and we also got assigned another group, and we worked with this group. We made weekly progress. We ultimately were able to launch our product and get in the hands of employees at 6 different companies. After about 30 to 45 days of usage at all of these companies, we started to get feedback. And the thing that we ultimately realized was this was a product and the workflow that the customers just were not loving. Furthermore, going through the enterprise sales process, we also realized that selling this product at scale was going to be immensely difficult. So facing the grim reality, changing our convictions, and based on some advice from our YC advisors, we decided to shut down the product.
Yeah, so that was obviously a tough decision, but we had a bunch of ideas that we were excited about trying. So we thought, hey, let's try them and let's try to validate them as quickly as possible. But we soon realized that doing so actually required a lot of engineering effort. We needed landing pages, we needed users, we needed to manage them and manage their data. And all of this stuff actually was really difficult to get working together well. You'd think that a lot of this code was reusable, but a small difference in the product requires a lot of changes in the code that could be tedious, time-consuming, and most importantly, error-prone. And we knew that if any of these ideas actually took off, we would have to do even more integrations to handle things like payments and analytics and marketing. I'm a front-end engineer. The thought of managing my own database and API and doing data migrations is actually pretty daunting. And I know that as a team, focusing on those things just means that our velocity is going to decrease. So that's when we thought, hey, what if we created something that made it super easy to build a backend for a SaaS application? Something that you could get started immediately. That way, you can focus instead on shipping features that your customers actually want instead of integrations. We want everybody in the product on the team to be a product engineer instead of an infrastructure engineer.
So yeah, besides getting you the quick start and being able to iterate quickly in the early days, we also wanted you to be able to iterate quickly as your company grew. So as your company grew and got a lot of success, scaling generally becomes a bottleneck. In my career, I had been fortunate to work with Uber and saw the hypergrowth manifest itself. I saw teams grow from like sizes of 2 and 3 to 10, and then to 40, and then ultimately become orgs of 100 or above. What we saw was that our monolith got broken up into microservices. Each of those microservices, and as more engineers came in, more microservices were needed. Each of those engineers needed their own development environment. Each team needed a staging environment to validate and integrate their changes. Furthermore, as changes got rolled out to production, we needed to do incremental rollout. So we needed canary system, and then even for some features, we didn't want to roll it out to the entire universe. So we needed feature flagging. All of that was production deployments. And then once you got deployed to production, you still needed robust monitoring and alerting so that if something broke, the SRE teams would be aware and then engineers could go ahead and fix them. What we realized is that we learned a lot from the giants that came before us. We brought them in for consulting and they guided us on how they did things. And we did the same things, we did the same ideas. However, we just couldn't reuse their implementation because everybody started out with a different starting point, and as such, everybody had to implement a solution that was different. However, with Midtype, because all companies building on top of Midtype will have a common starting point. When we build these things like an ephemeral staging environment or a shared team environment, you will be able to benefit from that along with every single other company at riding on top of Midtype platform. And we will also be designing the Midtype platform in such a way that for companies that need that customization to scale, they will be allowed to do that so that the 10-15% of work that is very bespoke into scaling an application can be done in a bespoke manner while leveraging the 80-90% that is common across all the different companies. That's kind of the idea behind Midtype, and we hope to get a lot of feedback on that story as we grow during startup school.
So we really built Midtype for companies like those in startup school so they could launch as quickly as possible, but also know that they can iterate and scale when needed. And we really hope that the feedback that we get from the other companies in this batch will help us get this product to where it needs to be so that everyone loves it. We're excited to offer anybody that wants to use Midtype a month for free with a deal. And if you decide to go with us long-term, 50% off any plan above developer for a year. We think that all of the feedback that we got last year in startup school really helped to get us where we are now today. And we want to go through that exact same process again. So please reach out. Please let us know if you have any feedback or any questions. We're always available to help. And we're excited to get started with all of you. So happy shipping.